Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. It's all about education. Today we'll be continuing our programming in C++, chapter 3, input and output operators. So today we'll be learning all about our input and output operators in C++. So whenever we are using this C++ language, all the input and output operations, right? All the input and output operations are carried out through cin and cout objects. So if you have seen my programming videos, I would have used some statements using the cin and cout objects. So why do we use them? To perform some input or output operations in our programming. So to perform our input and output operations in C++, the header file used is iostream.h within angular brackets. So this is very important. Whenever you are performing some programs, if you have seen those videos, you would be knowing it. When we always use a header file, right? Whenever we start the program, we use header file. So the header file I use is #include iostream.h. So what is that iostream? What did it meant for? It was for input and output operations in my C++. So whenever I am using iostream.h, it is understood that whenever I am using that header file, it is understood that I am performing some input and output operations in the program. So here what does I mean? I stands for input, O stands for output, and stream. Now I'll be teaching you what is stream. So this is the header file. So remember that whenever I am using iostream.h, #include iostream.h, this header file, it means that I am performing some input and output operations. And without this header file, you can't perform input and output operations. Right? This is very important. So what is a stream? A stream defines the flow of data in a program. So how the data is flowing through a program, the direction, or to define its flow, right? We use a word known as stream. So that is nothing but your stream, iostream.h, right? So input, output, stream. So a stream defines the flow of a data in the program. And there are two types of streams, that is input stream and an output stream. So what is an input stream? It supplies the data to the program. It means you are asking the user to give some values. So whenever I give some values to the program, that becomes what? My input. So whatever data I am giving to the compiler or the program through my keyboard, that is nothing but my input stream. That means I am supplying the data to the program. That is nothing but your input stream. When you come to output stream, it receives the data from the program. Means I am the user, I am the programmer. Whenever I am getting the output from my program, right, I am receiving the data from the program. That is nothing but your output stream. So for input stream, I use the cin object. For output stream, I'll use cout object. Fine. Next, input operator. So this is the symbol for input operator. You should remember it. This is very important. Whenever you are using this input operator, whenever you are using cin, right? Whenever you are using cin, this operator is a must. If you change the operator, then you will get an error. If you use cin with this operator here, if you use output operator, then you will be having an error in your program. So make sure that you are using the correct operator whenever you are using cin and cout statements. Now, this operator is used along with cin to perform input operation. We use it along with cin. What is my cin here? I'm using, from the beginning of the video, I'm using the words called as cin and cout objects. So what does cin and cout actually mean? Cin stands for console input. Cin stands for console input and cout stands for console output. So first we'll be learning about input operator, then we'll go for output. So this operator is used along cin to perform the input operations. And what does my cin mean? It is nothing but your console input. I am giving something. I am giving the data I'm providing the data to the program through my keyboard, that is nothing but input. So I'm giving some input through cin statement, right, through cin, that is nothing but console input. And this operator, it is also known as stream extraction operator. It is also known as stream extraction operator or get from operator. It means I'm getting from the user or the programmer who is providing me the data, right? So it is extracting, you are extracting the data from the keyboard, from the user, and you are using it for your program. That is nothing but stream extraction. So remember it this way. Whenever you get this operator, input operator, it is known as stream extraction operator. It means you are extracting the data from the user or the programmer who is providing you the input, or else you are getting it from, right, you are getting it from the keyboard. That is nothing but stream extraction operator or get from operator. It means it extracts the value from the keyboard and it will assign it to the variable on its right. So whenever you are using here, right, my variable is on right side, so whenever I am using this cin, it will extract the value from the keyboard and it will assign it to what? Whenever I give the cout statement, I'll ask the user to give input statement, right, I'll ask the user to give the data, to provide the data, then I'll be assigning that value, the extracted value from the keyboard to the variable. That is nothing but your input operator. That is the duty of the cin, or that is console input, or this operator, right, stream extraction operator. So you have the syntax and example here. Cin, this is a keyword, you can't change that. Cin extraction operator, and then you write variable name, that is nothing but your a. This is your example, right? Hope this concept is clear. Let's move on to the next concept, that is input using cin. That's what. See, I have made a chart so that you would understand the flow in a much better way. So first, from the keyboard, I'll be giving it to cin, right? From cin, after cin, I'm having this extraction operator. You can see it here, right? Cin extraction operator, variable name, right? Then from this, I'll be giving it to variable. Understood? This is nothing but your input using C. This is how you give the input, the extraction process. Next, output operator. So output operator, it is used along with your cout. It is used along with cout. What does the cout mean? Cout means it is console output, right? Next, this operator, this double less than symbol, you use it twice, that becomes what? Your stream insertion operator. Means I have performed the calculations in my program and I am inserting the output on my output screen. That is nothing but stream insertion operator. Or put to, I am putting it to the user, right? I am putting it to the display so that the user would get the output of the program. So that is nothing, I am putting it on the monitor. So it is put to operator. So it displays the output or data or message into the monitor, and it will insert the content of the variable from right to left. See, from right to left I am giving the content, right? See, here you have syntax. Let us understand it with syntax and example. I am having my variable here, right? From here, this is my processed. I have processed the program. I got some output. I am storing it in a variable, right? Variables are mainly used for that, for storing the data. So I am storing it in it, and then I am giving it to what? Here, right? Whenever I display this, if you go to the I'll make a separate video. I'll make the programming video also to show how these operators actually work, how the C and C out will actually work. I'll make it so that you understand better. For now, you understand it here. Whenever I have processed the data, I got the output here, so I'm storing it. I got some value, I'm storing it in A. Cout, I'm showing cout, I'm giving cout statement. and then I'll say whenever you'll have to print something on your output screen, always remember you'll have to use double quotes. If you don't use double quotes, you'll get an error. This will become a complete error if you don't give double quotes. Only if you give double quotes, it will print it on your output screen. Otherwise, you won't be getting any output there. So make sure you give this double quotes whenever you are writing any statement using cout, right? So it inserts the content of the variable from right to left, right? So whenever I give this is equal to, then here I'm closing the double quotes, so my statement ends there. But I need to give the output, so I'll be giving the variable, right? I'll be giving the variable in which I have stored the output. So this will be printing next to your is equal to. This cout statement, it won't print your double quotes. Whenever you're writing any statement, this double quotes are not printed. You will only get a is equal to something. Suppose think I got value of a as 2, it will be printing 2 here. Understood? That's all. It won't be printing your double quotes and all. So I am inserting the content of the variable from right to left in this way. Hope this concept is clear. Let's move on to the next concept. Yeah, this is how from variable to this operator, from insertion operator to cout, and from cout statement. Through cout statement, I am displaying it on the monitor. This is the flow of output, how output is done using cout statement. Next, cascading of input and output operators. This is a very important concept you will be learning, because you always use this concept in your programming. Because if you don't use this concept, what happens is your program becomes really very lengthy and you will be finding a lot of trouble whenever you try to find any errors in your program. So what does this actually mean? So whenever I am doing cascading of input or output operators, it is nothing but I am combining two statements together. That's all. See, the multiple use of input and output operators in a single statement is known as cascading. See, example, understand it with an example. It is better than looking into statement. See, I have written C in X, C in Y. I want both my values for my input in my program. So instead of writing two separate statements, I can combine them into one single statement. So instead of writing the statement twice, I can make it into one. I'll do nothing but I'll use this input operator, right? This is for scene. This operator I'll use twice in a single statement, and instead of writing two statements, I can write only one, right? So it would be easier whenever you're trying to find some errors in your program. So instead of making this program so lengthy using double statements, I can combine those statements into one statement and I can use them in my program. That is nothing but cascading of input and output operators. Right? So instead of making my program lengthy by using this same statement, I'm using the scene statement multiple times. So whenever I use the single statement multiple times, it will be actually time consuming and it will also cause some ambiguity. That is nothing but your confusion, right? You'll be confused whenever you see the program. It will be so lengthy and it will be difficult to find errors. So to avoid all such problems, we use this concept called as cascading of input-output operators. That is, I'll be combining the input-output operations in a single statement, right? Instead of writing two, I have combined it in a single statement. That is nothing but your cascading of input-output operators. Next, coming to formatting the data output or manipulators. Manipulators, this is a very interesting topic again. It will be so much fun to learn this topic. So you're formatting, you're getting some output, you have performed some program, you have solved the problem in your program, and you're getting some output. But you want to format the data output. How do you format it? Using your manipulators. So the function that is used to format the output is known as manipulator. That means you're changing how you're getting some output, but you don't want it that way. You want it some other version of yours. So you're manipulating the output. You're not changing any values there, but you're changing the format of the output. That is nothing but your manipulators. That function is carried out through manipulators. Some manipulators, I'll be teaching you these manipulators. They are very interesting. Okay, so endl, these are the examples. I'll explain you in depth, don't worry. So endl set with function. So whenever I'm using some word with parenthesis, this indicates that, with some brackets or parenthesis, it indicates that that it is a function. This whole thing is a function, right? Whenever I am using a word with a parenthesis, it means that it is a function. So please remember this concept, because you will be using it now and then. So you need to know this. Whenever you are using a word with parenthesis, it means that it is a function. It is not some keyword, it is some function. So set with function or with function, set fill function or fill function, set precision function or precision function. So all these, I've written some slash, and I've written two different functions. The work it does is same, but the way you declare it, the way you actually perform it in your program is different. That's all. But otherwise both the functions are same. Next, this is important. So whenever you are using some manipulators in your program, you will need to use this header file iomanip.h. right? You write #include #stream.h. Next line you write #include conio.h. that is for input and output. You are using input and output statement, so you use that. Next you will write #include iomanip.h. What is manip here? Manipulators. I again stands for input, O is for output, manip is for manipulators, right? To access the manipulators, this header file is a must. If you don't use this header file, your compiler won't be able to identify that you are using a manipulator there. So you will need to do this, otherwise you will be getting an error. So please make sure that you use this header file. Next, manipulators. So what are your manipulators? I have told you they are used for formatting your data. First one is endl. So what is endl? It is same as escape sequence character. If you remember your first chapter, I have used some sequence characters, right? So in that, one of them is /n. This is used for what? New line. So whenever you are using /line, it stands for new line. So what is this endl mean? What does this endl mean? New line. So whenever I am using this /n, it is nothing but new line. So what does this endl do? It is for the same. Instead of writing /n, you will be writing endl. That's all. You write like this, it will immediately go to the next line. That's all. So here, what is the difference between /n and end line? Here you use the slash and you have double quotes. Without double quotes, your /n character won't work. Escape sequence character, you can't work you can't make this character work if you don't use your double quotes. It is a must. If you don't use it, you will get an error. Otherwise, you simply don't get your output in the next line. That's all. So these double quotes are very important whenever you are using /n. But if you don't want to use these double quotes, you don't want to use /n, then you can go for endl. You don't need any double quotes for this, but remember I told you that you'll have to use this header file. If you don't use this header file, this character won't work. So you're just using endl there. Understood? So cout operator endl. That's all. You don't need any sort of double quotes there. Next, coming to set width or width function, set width function. So this function is used to set the amount of space required to display a value on the output screen. So suppose you want your output on your display screen, but you want some space before the output or after the output. You want some space. So but you have to set that. You have, like, suppose you want 6 spaces means you will have to use this set width function. When you use this set width function, you will get 6 spaces, and then you will get your output. Or else after your output you will have 6 space left out, and then you will get your next output. So how do you use this? You are having syntax here: cout set width, in the bracket, in the parenthesis you write it as your n. N is nothing but how much space you want. Suppose you want 6 or 10, you want 10 spaces, then you will do this. Suppose you want 6 spaces, you will use this. And here we have another problem. You want it before or after, right? You want it, you want the spaces, either you can give it before or after. But how does the compiler identify that you want the space before your output? So how does it know? For that we have this. It can be either positive. The n is nothing but the total width of the output. How much width you want, that much number you give. Like you want 10 width, 10 as your width, 10 spaces, you can give 10. You want 6, you can give 6. Or you want 4, you can, any number of your choice you can give. Like how much you want, how much space you want, you can give that number as n. And how do you know if it is if it is printing the spaces before or after your output? Using this. Here also, if you give plus n, it means if you give a positive value, it will be always right justified. Means you will be getting the spaces before your output. It means this is how you get it towards the right. But if you are giving a negative number, if you give your number with a negative sign, with a minus, what do you get? You get your output always as left justified. Means you will be getting it at the starting, and then your spaces will be after your output. Space will be given after your output, right? And n is the total width. Here I have given an example. Suppose you are declaring something. See, int a is equal to 5678. I'm giving that, and I want some space there. I want my output, this a value, to be printed after some spaces. After 10 spaces, I want my a value to be printed. So what do? Cout set width function. This one, compare these two. Right, compare. So cout operator, set width is there. In the place of n, how much space I want? I want 10 spaces there. And then your operator, and then you are putting a. So whenever you are putting a, what will you get? What is a equal to? 5678. I'll be getting it. Here I have given a positive value. I have given plus 10. Right? You need not mention the plus. It is always understood. So if you just give a number, then it will always be what? Right justified. So here 10 blanks are left, 10 space is left, and then I am getting my output towards my right side. That is nothing but your right justified. But if you want it, if you want your output to be at the front and the spaces to be at the end, you can use this one. Same example, int a is equal to this much, and cout set width, everything is same. I'm just giving minus here. That's all. If I give minus, what will I get? I will be getting a left justified output. That's all. Here after this a value, after printing the a value, here I'll have 6 spaces. That's all. Hope this concept is clear. Next, width function, same. It is same as set width. Whatever I have explained now. See, these two, their function is the same. Right? Their work or function is the same. The way you declare it is different. So width function is there. Syntax, you are having cout dot width. See, here you are using the operator. But instead of operator, I want to use dot operator here. Instead of cout operator, I am using a dot operator. That is the difference for width function. Same width, in the bracket you will be giving your space, how much space you want, that much. Float, this time I will be taking float f, I am declaring f in float, is equal to 12.35. Width I am giving as 8, cout f. So here I will have same, it is right justified. Why? Because it is plus, right? It is a positive value, so it is always right justified. If I give negative value, it will be left justified. The major difference is that here you will be using a dot operator, while here you will be using the cout operator. That's all. Next manipulator is set fill function or fill function. This function is used to fill the empty spaces with the character. Whenever you want to fill your empty spaces, see here you have given some empty space, right? I've given empty space as 8. So I don't want empty space here, I want some characters there. So what do I use? I'll use set fill here. Set fill or fill function, same. Here you will be using your cout operator, here you will be using your dot operator. No other difference. So I don't want some empty spaces here, I want some character to be filled there, then I will be using your set fill. Fine. So syntax and example, always compare and learn. No, here you have to compare these two statements. Yeah, cout, set fill, character. So remember this, whenever you are giving character, it should always be in single quotes. This is very very important. You need to know this. Whenever you are giving some character, you will always need to give it in single quotes, right? If you don't give your character in single quotes, you won't be able to display it. So you will again get an error, that's all. But you won't understand what the error is because you don't know that you have to use single quotes. So I am telling you, please remember, you will always have to give your single quotes whenever you are using characters. So int n I am giving it as 152. Cout, same. Operator is there, set fill is there. So first I will be giving my set width because I want this space, right? I want this space here. So I will first give set width. and then I'll go for set fill. Without space I can't directly get, no. I'll have to have some space first and then I'll have to fill that space, right? So set fill. So whatever character I give in the single quote here, that will be filled in that space. See, how does this work? And I've given n here. So how does this work? Same thing. First I'll be getting my output box here like this. I have 152, it is positive, so I'll be having it as right justified. 152 I'm having here. And out of 7 spaces, how much did I use? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've used 3. I have 4 more left. So I have 4 more left, so I'll be using this character to fill that space. So whenever I am having this like this, you have the output. It is written clean here. Please refer this output. So I have 7 spaces, right? And I am printing my output. So I have used 3 out of it. 7 minus 3, 4. I have 4 spaces left. So I want to fill that space with this character. So I'll fill that with stars or asterisk symbols. Next, that is nothing but your set fill. Same fill function, it is same as set fill function. You'll just be using dot operator, that's all. Dot operator, again same character you are giving. This time I want it left justified, so I'll be giving it as minus. And then I'll be giving, see here what you can do, you'll give everything. See, this is much easier, right? You're giving everything in a single statement. But here what is happening, I'll have to give 3 statements. If I give 3 statements, I'll be getting this output. See here just 1 statement, but still I'm getting the output. Here I'll have to write 3 statements. So we have 2 types of functions. They have the same function, they do the same work. But how you declare matters there. So Here, according to me, this is more easier because you just have one statement. Here you will have to write 3 statements, and there are more chances of causing ambiguity or confusions. So I'll always suggest you to use this one, but if you want you can use this too. If you have 2 functions, you can use anything, because however their work is the same. So to make your work easier, you can use this or this. It's left to you, it's your wish. Same, 6 spaces are there, 3 I'm using it for n, right? 3 I'm using it for n, and then left out are 3, I'm filling it with ampersand, I'm filling it with AND operator. Next, coming to set precision. So you want to set some precision, you want to precise the value, then you use this set precision. It is nothing but this function is used to format the floating point values. Like you are having the pi value, see, very easier, like more a relatable example. If you want, you can take the value of pi. So if you want to take the value of pi, if you actually calculate 22 by 7, right, that is my pi value. So if I actually calculate, I will get 3.14285714. It's such a large number, but I don't want to print such a large number. I don't want to use such a large number in my program for calculations. So what do? I want to precise the value of pi to 2 decimal points itself. That is, I want only 3.14 to be there, to be used in my calculations. So what do I do in such sort of cases? I'll use my set precision function. So syntax, cout operator, set precision of p. So what is my p here? It is the total number of digits that print after your decimal point. After my decimal point, I want only 2 characters to print. So what does my p become? 2. If I want after my when I want to print my output after the decimal point, I want only 3 characters to be printed, 3 digits to be printed. So what does my p become? 3. Right, here is an example, you can refer, and it is obvious that it will be in the float, right? Because you can't integers, they are only whole numbers. So set precision is mainly used for float. You can't use it for int, because common sense, right? You can't have float values, you can't have decimal values for int. So you are using float. F is equal to 10.563217, but I don't want this large value, but I want the output. I want the output after the decimal point. I want only 2 digits to be printed. Then I use what in set precision function? Same, cout set precision of p. In place of p, I am using 2 because I want only 2 characters to be printed. So 2, I'll be giving p value as 2, then printf. Then what do I get? The value is 10.56. That's all. So you don't want to use this operator, you want to use dot operator, then go for precision function. That's all. It is same as set precision function. Then same dot operator you give, float f is equal to same example I have given, but after the decimal point I wanted some 4 values, so I will give p value as 4. Then I will get 10.563 as my output. This is all about your manipulators, right? This is all about your manipulators. So hope you like this video. So if you like this video, if you have any doubts, please make sure that you comment in the comment section. I'll be answering all your doubts there. So this is all about your manipulators and your input and output operators. Hope you loved the lecture. Please if you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with your friends too, so that it would be helpful. Thank you. Meet you all in the next session.